Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Star Trek Judgement Rites. And when last we left off, we were just about to combine the genetic sequences for the Alphans and the Omegans, who we have discovered were actually two separate parts of one original organism that got split a long time ago. And while our geneticist Ensign Johns had a moral dilemma about it, we managed to guide him through it, and he's now going to combine the sequences.
I am producing a new culture, Captain.
Thank you.
Captain, the genetic sequence is still stored in the computer. If we need another sample, the replicator can generate it.
Thank you. Let's go and scan that, shall we? Because obviously, this one in theory should be absolutely fine.
This colony of creatures appears viable for the long term. Quite vital and thriving.
Excellent. That is good to hear. Now, let's scan it with the medical tricorder.
These combined creatures have a triangular structure. These gammons have the energy efficiency of the Omegans and the reproductive rate of the Alphans.
Now, we're jumping the gun here because we haven't actually named them. Let's name them. Kirk is in fact going to name them. Name a whole species, in fact.
I officially christen this life form, the gammons.
My mistake. It's actually John's that will christen them. There we go. I thought it was Kirk, but my mistake. I suppose John's combined them, so that's what they're called, the gammons. There is one room up here that we have not yet explored. It contains another machine. This one is lifeless.
A large alien computer.
As in, there's nothing in it, life-wise.
A viewing port into the genetic holding tank. James T. Kirk.
That is unchanged.
Dr. Leonard McCoy.
That is unchanged.
Spock raises an eyebrow.
That is unchanged.
Ensign Johns wears his...
That is also unchanged. Anything to talk about here?
Well, this place seems peaceful enough.
It is.
Do you have any idea what this machine does, Spock?
He certainly does. He's gonna scan it.
It looks like a containment unit for an artificially created genetic construct. My tricorder indicates the device contains a nutrient replicator that could last for thousands of centuries. I would speculate this would nursemaid the genes until it has evolved into a higher form of life and is ready for release on the planet's surface.
That's quite a machine.
This place doesn't feel evil, Captain.
It feels completely empty.
Why do I have a feeling that this mission will be resolved in this room?
Because you're breaking the fourth wall, Kirk. Of course it's
Divine
going to
inspiration, Captain?
be. Or just fourth wall breaking.
I won't discount it, Ensign.
Now, what we need to do is we need to use this culture on it. Let's see if we can do that.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
We should, is it here we put it? Yes.
Well, Jim, it doesn't look like it does anything.
Oh.
Oh, I guess I spoke too soon.
Yes, you did.
It took it in. It looks as if the colony is getting a foothold in there.
And it's probably going to thrive.
Life energy levels are spiking. They're building to a level sufficient for sending out a signal 100 times stronger than the one that brought us here, Captain.
Oh, that's pretty strong.
The gammon sample appears to be thriving in this environment.
That's not surprising.
Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to tell you. Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to tell you.
I think there might be something that's being blocked here.
It would appear there is more to this message than we are receiving.
Indeed.
Kirk to Uhura. Are you receiving any strange subspace or radio signals?
That's a good question.
Captain, there is a neutrino-based transmission being broadcast near your current position from a point of unknown origin, probably from another star system. Our equipment is not designed to handle it. Though given 1 or 2 weeks, we might be able to identify patterns and extrapolate what it's trying to say.
Yeah, we need to deal with that.
We'll work on the problem from here. Kirk out.
Fair enough. There's not a lot we can do here.
Beautiful and quite lifelike, the three-dimensional projection appears to be a blend of Alphan and Omegan traits.
As it would be. As it would be. Let's see if the dialogue's changed now.
This place doesn't feel evil, Captain.
No, it hasn't. But there's nothing we can actually do in this room right now.
Save, new, replace.
So let's, Oh, hang on. Completely wrong there. We actually want to just save a new game.
Save, new game.
Ooh, we must replace older files
Save,
now.
new game. Replace.
Let's replace the first file that we have. And unfortunately it won't let us resave over the name, so that's a little annoying, but what can you do? Let's actually head outside. We need to figure out what that actual message is. There is actually a over here that we can check out. Let's go. It's this way, I think. Ah! Hello, satellite.
Antenna. I wonder what it was meant for.
I've no idea.
That's what we're here to find out, Mr. John.
Indeed. Let's have a look.
Unlike the rocks surrounding it, the sensor array dish looks fairly new.
Everything here looks fairly new.
A large crevice in the rock. James T. Kirk squints against the harsh sunlight on the surface of this world.
Indeed.
Ensign Johns appears bored by the desolate surroundings.
They are pretty desolate.
Dr. Leonard McCoy rubs at his eyes as a little dust blows up.
Surprised they don't have goggles, actually.
Spock looks around, apparently at ease in these surroundings.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Aside from this sensor array, there is nothing unexpected here.
Indeed.
You know, Jim, this is not the kind of place to inspire homesickness.
Definitely not.
I hope they didn't pay the landscapers very many credits for this work.
I don't think they paid them at all.
Not quite a picnic spot, but it has its charm. What do you think, Bones?
You're just prodding him at this point, Kirk.
With the thin atmosphere, sunblock 187 would be nice.
That is a very specific number. There is, however, this...
Unlike the rocks surrounding it, the sensor array dish looks fairly new.
It does. We need to scan that.
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. The focal point of the dish is aligned approximately 35 degrees above the horizon.
Okay. What about this rock? Seem very specific.
These rocks are approximately 1.3 billion years old and are volcanic in origin.
That is... a lot.
Volcanic in origin, these rocks have been here for a long time.
They have.
These rocks are approximately 1.3 billion years old and are volcanic in origin.
Are they hot? There's a lot of rocks that we could scan here. That seems important.
These rocks are...
Is it this rock that's important?
These rocks are approximately...
Well, let's see what else is here. There's one satellite. Are there any more? Yes, there is another one, isn't there? There is another one.
Ensign Johns appears unenthused by the surroundings.
Not surprising.
Spock ignores you as his restless gaze darts from feature to feature of the landscape.
Restless?
Dr. Leonard McCoy frowns as sweat forms on his upper lip.
It probably is rather hot here.
James T. Kirk runs a strong hand over his smooth chin and studies his surroundings like a general surveying a battlefield.
The only battlefield here, Kirk, is one of boredom, because there's nothing to see.
Kind of reminds me of a Klingon penal colony, don't you think?
I wouldn't know.
I think I would just as soon avoid the research needed to make that judgment, sir.
Indeed.
Someone once tried to talk me into buying a retirement villa on a world like this. It was a bargain.
Yeah.
Small wonder that.
Yeah.
This array is clear evidence of an ongoing alien interest in this world.
Indeed.
Someone selling ice water here would make a fortune.
They would, but there's no customers. We also need to scan this too.
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. The support beneath the base is weak and crumbled. It is aligned to a point approximately 35 degrees above the horizon.
What about this console?
Captain, the controls indicate the device is aligned at an angle approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. There appears to be some sort of anomaly in the control program that has misaligned the controls, but my tricorder is unable to determine it. Without a method of determining the proper angle, I am afraid I cannot realign the dish.
Oh. We haven't actually gone back and scanned the first one. Because there are controls for the first one, too. Let's, scan the controls for this one. So the second one's misaligned.
This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. Its control principles are similar to the Meddai sensor dish on Vulcan. It has locked the array at a 35-degree angle. Without knowledge of the code control sequence, I cannot adjust it. I also detect that its power core is not functioning. It operates on geothermal energy, tapping into heat from the ground below.
Oh. So, that one's not functioning, and the second one is misaligned. What about... is there a third one? It does seem like it's sort of heading that way.
The clearing is filled with hard rocks, hot dust, and enough sharp edges to make everyone wary.
Yeah, let's just get out of here, shall we, and move over here. That seems like a good idea. There is a third one.
The volcanic rocks bear tiny scars from siderite strikes, as very little burns up in the atmosphere here.
Indeed.
Dr. Leonard McCoy looks around as if desirous of a soft place to sit down.
Well, there's a rock. You could sit there.
Spock's gaze darts quickly between features, doubtless cataloging them for a later report.
That's going to be quite a report, I think.
James T. Kirk seems not to notice as a little sweat trickles down the side of his face.
Yeah, this place is probably very hot.
Ensign John's irritated expression suggests frustration or a pebble in his boot.
Possibly both.
The difference between this place and hell is flames.
Also, there's a lot of rock here.
You overlook one other difference, Mr. Johns. As your author Mark Twain said, heaven for the climate, hell for the company.
Oh.
The array appears to be in similar condition to the others we have seen.
Indeed.
This is definitely the kind of place you want to be from, not heading to.
Yeah, it's not that nice.
The peacefulness of this planet is a nice change, isn't it, Mr. Spock?
Well, at least you're not getting shot at or attacked or anything like that.
Somewhat like the meditation grounds on Vulcan, Captain.
Wouldn't know.
After our encounter with the Alasi, the Vardane, and their replica of the Enterprise, I can appreciate a few less stressful missions.
Indeed.
True, Captain. As long as you do not lower your guard, there is always the potential for danger.
There is. Let's have a look at this one here. What does it look like? What does it do?
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. This array appears focused on a point approximately 35 degrees above the horizon.
Is it working?
This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. Its control principles are similar to the Meddai sensor dish on Vulcan. It has locked the array at a 35-degree angle. Without knowledge of the code control sequence, I cannot adjust it.
Fair enough. This one seems to be working, though. But the second one doesn't seem to be working at all. And the first one... well, the second one's misaligned. The first one is, not powered, so we actually need to find a way to power it. It is geothermal. There's one thing we could do, I suppose. We could try using a phaser on the ground. A kill phaser, actually. Should provide enough energy. Let's give it a go. Might work.
The energy level is insufficient, Captain. We cannot generate the energy level needed to provide geothermal energy with hand phasers.
if it's thermal energy you want, Jim, I remember this planet that used a starship's phasers on a microwave setting to heat the surrounding rock to provide temporary power.
That's handy.
An interesting observation, Doctor. We could use the same technique here, but the beam would have to be extremely precise. If we targeted the wrong section, we could melt the rock and destroy the array.
Ah. Yeah, we don't want to do that. That would be bad.
Save new game. Replace.
That would be really bad, so we definitely don't want to do that. But to do this, we're going to have to communicate with the Enterprise.
Mr. Scott requests to know if everything is all right, sir.
That's very handy.
Tell Mr. Scott that everything is fine. Kirk out.
We need to, bet we can't get you to actually,
Captain, until power has been returned to these controls, there is nothing I can do.
We could actually scan that rock, actually, now that we fired at it. That might help.
Captain, although this rock formation does indirectly lead to the thermal core, I suggest finding an area that would allow a more direct transfer of energy.
This one?
These rocks are approximately 1.3 billion years old and are volcanic in origin.
This one?
These rocks
Are there other rocks? I mean, there's a lot of rocks here.
Volcanic in origin. A large crevice going deep into this planet's surface.
Is that actually a sufficient place to communicate with?
Mr. Scott requests...
Tell Mr. Scott that...
The dusty red rocks are pitted and well weathered. Dust getting everywhere because everything is so dry.
We could scan those rocks, I suppose. Will that help?
Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
We just need to find the right rocks. That's what we need to find. Why don't we see if we can sort this one out first? This one seems a lot easier. At least I think it'll be a lot easier. Let's see what we can get Spock to do.
Captain, these controls do not seem to be functioning properly.
Don't they?
The array is a precision instrument that shows a high degree of machining.
Can we communicate with the Enterprise here?
Scotty, I need a calculation from the main computer.
Ah!
While I know the computers on the Enterprise aren't quite as good as her engines, I think she'll manage.
Excellent.
I am sending the problem.
Excellent.
Ugh, that was too easy, Mr. Spock. The angle is 32.5 degrees.
Marvelous.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
No problem.
So is there anything else you need, Captain?
Nope.
Not now, Scotty. Kirk out.
That should be enough.
Captain, I cannot realign the sensor until power has been returned.
Ah, we actually need to restore power. That's what we need to do. We do need to restore power. There is a very large rock somewhere. Is it this rock? Try this rock. Will it scan will it shoot a different rock? Scan that rock. Is that a better rock?
These rocks are approximately 1.
So it's not this rock.
Captain, although this rock formation does indirectly lead to the thermal core, I suggest finding an area that would allow a more direct transfer of energy.
We need to find somewhere more direct.
Save new game. Replace.
More direct. Never before has Kirk basically fired phasers at all kinds of rocks. What about this rock? Is that one better?
These rocks are approximately 1.3 billion years old.
I'm trying to find a rock that's suitable.
These rocks are...
Volcanic in origin.
Is it this rock? I'm just trying to find the right rock here. Marvelous, Kirk gets stuck trying to find rocks.
Volcanic in origin.
There seems to be just a lot of rocks.
This seems pointless.
It's not that rock.
A large crevice going deep into...
I mean, we could shoot there? Is there better? Is there better? That is very specific.
This appears to be the most accessible spot to heat the rocks below the ground and generate geothermal energy for the array.
There we go! We just had to find the right rocks. Right. Now let's communicate with the Enterprise.
Kirk to Enterprise. Sulu, can you read me?
Hello, Sulu.
Sulu here, Captain. How can I help you?
You can most certainly help us.
The Enterprise should broadcast a low-level microwave beam at the coordinates I am sending.
There you go.
We have him, Mr. Spock. Get ready. Stand away from the blast area.
We will.
Stand by, ready for weapons position.
Indeed. Everyone get ready. No one's going to die today. That doesn't seem far enough.
Sending microwaves now.
Okay.
Temperature near the power coupling is rising rapidly. I estimate a below-ground temperature of 345 degrees Kelvin is required to reactivate the array. It is at 320.
By the way, that was not the same planet that we actually orbit, that we're orbiting right now.
330.
Yep.
335.
Yep.
340.
Now?
345.
Okay.
350.
Okay.
Shut off the beam, Mr. Sulu.
Okay.
Affirmative, Captain.
The array is now drawing power. We were successful.
Marvelous. And now we can readjust the second one, I think. And that should probably actually, that should do the trick. The second one seemed to have something wrong, so I think we can readjust it. I think we can readjust it anyway. There you go.
I am now attempting to realign the device to 32.5 degrees.
Excellent.
It should now be correctly aligned.
Good. And I think that might be everything. I mean, the first one had no power, the second one seemed misaligned, the third one seems okay. Maybe that will solve everything now? There's only one way to find out, and that's to go in here and, have an ask of what's going on. Let's have a look. Hello. We're going to save, just in case.
Save, replace.
Let's save. I'm never going to get used to, switching over to the, first slot there. Hello.
Thank you, Captain, for your aid in constituting my people and in the unexpected necessary realignment of our communications array. You have performed admirably. Of the 16 stations reporting at this point, there have been 50% fatalities, 30% other failures, and only 20% successes. One group got points for style.
This sounds like another test.
Points for style? Is this some sort of game?
Let's not antagonize here.
Not another alien race with a superiority complex. Who are you this time?
Let's be nice about this.
Your appreciation is welcome, but many questions remain unanswered. Who are you?
That is a good, choice.
I am Sisissa, a projection of a synthesis of Azra and Visner. Clearly you know that the primitive life forms you have been dealing with are incapable of creating that in which you now stand. You will also note that the more demonic of the creatures displayed a passivity you did not expect, while the morally pure creature was aggressive and bloodthirsty.
Indeed.
The contradictions were noted and duly dealt with. I take it you were testing us on our ability to deal with disparate and contradictory inputs.
Probably.
Yes, your reasoning ability was being tested, as well as your ability to adapt to new ideas when they conflict with deeply held beliefs and cultural customs. You passed quite admirably. The Brassica were impressed.
The who?
I'm not clear on who the Brassica are.
I get the feeling we're gonna find out.
Captain, from this site, I can deduce various things about the Brassica. They are taller and more slender than we are. They are possessed of 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand. I suppose bilateral symmetry, and I know they possess greater visual acuity than humans. They visited this place well before humans had left the Cro-Magnon stage of development, and I note they have avoided detection by us, and presumably every other race in the universe, before they decided to send out signals to bring us to their bases.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
No problem.
And more you shall know as you continue on the quest. I wish you luck.
Wish us luck with what?
Kirk to Enterprise, Scotty, 4 to beam up.
Oh, Kirk's like, yep, we're done here, nothing else to do. Hopefully the organisms in that thing will do well in the future. I bet the guy teleporting is surprised everyone came back.
Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
Indeed.
In this case, Bones, a new beginning. We were the midwives for the rebirth of a life form. 2 halves that have been made whole again. That's the way it was meant to be.
We have done something good.
And let us hope that this is the end of Ensign John's prejudices.
We can all learn to stop judging people by appearances. Ensign Johns might have done well to remember the biblical representation of Lucifer, appearing in the guise of an angel of light.
You can never trust anybody, and people who look like pointy-eared hobgoblins are definitely at the bottom of the list.
McCoy.
It appears that Dr. McCoy did not learn the lesson of this mission either. Unfortunate, but not unexpected.
Spock.
Fortunately, the Alphans and the Omegans learned philosophy and personal belief are not as easily divorced from logic as some would believe. We humans attain our greatest fulfillment when both of them are united.
It's the moral of the show, folks. I hope you're writing it down.
Really, Captain?
Spock is not impressed.
Really? But I've had enough philosophy for one day. I'd rather worry about these Brassica and their cosmic quest.
Yeah, it does sound a little bad.
Well, with me aboard, we're sure to get points for style.
Yeah, about that, McCoy.
Many questions remain unanswered, Captain.
And we'll get all the answers before long.
And there's only one way to answer them.
That's to fly out and phaser everything that's there. I mean, do the other missions.
Captain, message from Starfleet.
Oh, thank you.
Bring it up, Lieutenant.
Thanks.
I reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments.
Basically, what were you doing on that barren, lifeless planet?
The top brass at Starfleet are impressed with the results of your recent performance. Outstanding work, Jim. Keep up the good work. Kane out.
Thank you.
Ahead, Mr. Sulu. Warp Factor 5.
All right, off we go.
Leaving orbit. Increasing to warp factor 5.
Excellent. Oh, look, the planet's back to how it was before. And off we go. To the 5th mission. Voids.
Spock, where do you think we should start looking for this? Brassica?
That's a good question.
Logic suggests that they will present us with opportunities to come to them.
Yeah, that sounds likely.
Captain, a message from Starfleet.
Is that an opportunity?
On screen.
All right.
Captain, the USS Regulus has been forced to cancel its survey mission to the Antares Rift. We've decided to redirect the Enterprise to that mission. The USS Hood will take over for your current assignment.
Oh, fair enough.
Of course, the Antares Rift has a rather dangerous reputation.
It does. Does it?
Nothing the Enterprise can't handle. But be careful. Starfleet out.
Thank you. A vote of confidence indeed. And when we come back, folks, we shall head to that system. And hopefully, we won't die horribly. Well, hopefully anyway. Well, I hope so. So, I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.